the first game to finish in this round for Fedoseev. Talking of killer, he was a killer in this round despite losing his first 3 games. So big shock in that one.
Gets his first win, and it's against the world #1. It's against Magnus. What a way to start. Well, a tournament that didn't go his way, but now suddenly back with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, if there's any way to breathe new life into your tournament run, that's one way to do it.
Can we check Fabiano Ferrugia really quickly? Is that okay?
Yeah, we'll pull back out and kind of get another scope of the whole tournament and check in on the other boards as well, just to see if anything crazy has happened, and then we can dive into that game that you're asking for. We can already see, of course, the resulted game. Top center there, Fedoseev over Carlsen.
And that was a one-move blunder, right? Walking into knight b2 and no coming back from that. And in case anyone in chat missed it, definitely take a look at that tactics.
And in the meantime, this game, just a quick pawn count, because I'm very materialistic. I love it. In life and chess. It looks like white is a pawn up, so Fabi has an extra pawn, but black's piece is looking very active.
And something takes h2, something to f3.
Something lining up with that bishop, and that something will be the queen, doubling down on that h2 pawn at the right moment.
Rook f3 looks mighty juicy to me.
Something I don't like that rook position on h4. That looks so scary.
Very strange rook. How did it even get there?
Right, yes, exactly.
That's the weird spot for the rook to land on.
It must, yeah.
I don't like the intensity with which he's studying the king side. That means the wheels are turning.
Remember, those rooks started on d1, so it literally came up the board, across, then he locked it in, closed the door behind, threw away the key. And,
no coming out of that door.
This is a Ferrugia type of position as well. Like, he loves the initiative, he loves to attack, so he's got.
I wouldn't mind it either, but, you know.
Ooh, what was he reaching for there? His knight? It looks like he's reaching for something. There we go.
Wow, dives in with it.
Going in.
He's not necessarily going to take the rook, but he's going to think, yeah, he will.
And now he lifts the other rook up to the 5th rank to put more pressure. Rook f3 on the board. Beautiful, Daniel. You're right.
He has rook h6. Wait.
Queen h3.
Yeah, king g3.
Well, no, you're not.
I mean,
as Peter Lecco would say, if that's not checkmate, nothing is.
Okay, white should play. What should white play? Rook h1.
He's playing it.
Rook h1, queen g4. And then what? Queen f1. Oh, my lands.
And I think Fabi spotted it, because you don't play rook h1 if you haven't seen the queen retreat to f1 to connect it to that g2 spot.
Insanity.
He does only have 15 seconds to work with.
Okay, so I should just... With errors, the problem with taking is the rook will transition to the h file, the queen comes in. This is a deflection. You're deflecting the g pawn so it doesn't control the h3 square.
Exactly. Yes.
And Fabi with 2 seconds to defend this position. Great. Lovely.
It's very reminiscent.
He moved.
He did.
He moved.
This is Fischer random chess, freestyle chess, but it's reminiscent of Fischer versus Benko, putting a rook on. In that game, it was f6, here f3, blocking, kind of stopping the white queen from coming over across, stopping the white bishop from ever joining the defense. Really instructive.
Yeah. And to avoid any confusion for viewers at home, if you look in the bottom right, that's the live position. So while the clock says 0 for Fabi here, he had made a move.
Let's just have that on our analysis board as well.
Black can play rook h3, gh, and then there's a potential en passant with mate. But the problem is, white doesn't have to take the rook.
That's so beautiful.
And here I would try some trick like queen g5 to threaten rook h3 maybe.
Wow, that is devilish, Daniel. Maybe
can we show that? Because that's really stunning. You want to give a check on e5?
The previous one?
How do you come up with these ideas? I don't understand, Daniel.
Bullet. Rook h3, I'll show that this was a possibility. The king drops back. This is why he didn't play it. But he might have considered this in a 30-second game because en passant would be checkmate on the next move. However, it's not checkers, as my grandfather used to say. Don't have to take king g1. Miraculously, white might even be better. Let's go back to the game. Ferrugia needs a way to continue the attack.
Because he's not down too much material, but white has got 2 pieces for a rook. It's still sort of in the balance.
The knight's coming into d4. How is Fabi doing this?
This is crazy. The white queen literally started in the other corner on a1. The white rook started somewhere else. And now he's just set up his pieces again.
That's the legendary triple stack.
Does he do g3 or does he go rook h2 to defend the pawn?
Even better, I think.
Big decision. Which one will Fabi take? Look at Alireza. I think he's realizing that there's not enough power in his attack right now.
You need Harry.
Yeah, you need the h-pawn to start marching up the board. He looks really upset. I think he's looking into the past. He's trapped thinking, oh, there must have been some knockout blows. There must have been a winning opportunity earlier, but he needs to focus here and now. He's still got chances.
Sindarov still winning. He's played rook h2.
Fabi defends.
Knight
11
d4,
seconds, something like that.
bishop c3 coming in
Queen
next.
d1 is also interesting. Hit him from the other side. here's
h5,
Harry.
you said Harry, he arrives. h4, h3 coming in. That pawn won't stop at the square, it's just moved to.
I was going to say, he said he doesn't have enough firepower, so he's going to bring a little bit more. Could be the hero pawn.
But could backfire if white plays g3. Could be mate.
Yeah, it's
He's gone all in with that last move. You could also go c5 as white here.
okay. I was about to ask, do we have time to get our knight involved?
Yes, you do.
Fabiano believes so.
F something, f4, f3.
Hits the knight,
Drop back
F3 I would
to
play.
e2 here.
Yeah.
and then push the h-pawn.
Or pawn f3. Get everything open? No,
Drops back.
never mind.
James predicting everything inside Fabiano's head here.
I'm bound to get a couple things right over the course of 8 days.
Many things.
Still terrifying.
Oof. And look at this. Every move a bit of an inaccuracy.
That
with the-
f3 square, it's like, I want to turn 2. You rode the roller coaster. The queen's like, me too. Queen f3.
If black just had a knight anywhere, it's there's so many holes in the white position, but queens and rooks alone cannot really use holes. They're long-range pieces. They can't use outposts.
What does Fabi want if Alireza continues pushing the h-pawn?
Just block it.
Ooh.
He plays rook h6,
I don't know.
preparing it.
But h3, g3 is the fundamental problem.
Block the attack.
He's cooked up some trick, has Alireza.
Okay.
Now the c-pawn's coming
not.
as well.
Looking.
Say that's a.
And see, it doesn't find it. 10 seconds?
Whoa, you gotta make a
He's
move.
slipping from the ledge, like every finger is being pried away right now. But can Fabi move his queen from f1? Is now the time.
He's reaching for it, he does it, he defends, he's assisting that c-pawn to move ahead.
Well.
g3? What's the move after
It
g3?
looks so incredibly scary on the king side, but
Yeah,
that
G3
rook on
locks the
h2.
position.
Rook on e4.
Oh,
Blooded.
wow. Queen defends. It's defended by the knight, offering a trade.
Gotta move the queen back. You can't trade that.
Yeah, just to create tricks on the board,
And
but
he does.
Alireza's attack, it's falling apart.
Look at him on the camera. He looks really
I was going to
upset.
say our body language expert needs to come back in. You can see the nerves.
Still anyone's game. It's like you're always one blunder away in such a position.
Especially when you're playing on seconds on the clock, right? And all the mages are on the board, your king in line of fire.
It was frustrating when you're almost there, you know that as Fabi, and you just can't find that last resource.
And now the c-pawn's fallen as
And he
well.
wanted a fork on e4 with the knight. Wow.
Whoa, that was a
They changed places.
sneaky trap.
And importantly, the knight captures the rook with a check.
King g6. This is Sparta.
That's an incredible play.
And
Wow.
Alireza resigns.
Oh, that's, yeah, you can see it on his face there.
We've got to go to
A
Gukesh
crushing
immediately.
defeat.
It's
Let's
a time
do it.
scramble. Let's go to Gukesh. Sorry, guys.
No worries, no worries. From one board to another, while Alireza is left wondering what went wrong there. We're going to find our way over to Gukesh. And Sindarov will, where this earlier felt like a very
Tables have
decisive
turned.
winning position here for Sindarov. Yeah, something has shifted.
Well, let's jump straight into that one. Let's bring up Sindarov, the leader so far in our round robin against Gukesh.
It's an
That's
end
the
game. Rook,
bottom
rook,
left.
knight.
There we
On
have
count
it.
is equal.
Count is
On
equal.
count equal.
And the first question to me was like, can the white pawn step forward, fork the two black knights? But one of them jumps in with a check, and saving himself there. We're headed towards a rook endgame. It feels
Knight.
like
Can you give the knight on f5 or something? No.
And the white knight can also move forward. The e-pawn is also tender. Are we heading towards a draw in this one?
feels that way.
Knight f1.
Knights will get traded.
Actually, knight
Yeah,
f1
do we
is
offer
not
the
such a
trade
bad move.
on E4?
That's actually a fantastic move. I love it. Knight
Oh, no, we
F1.
can't.
We might
I'm
see
just
it.
kidding.
Trying to be
We
fancy.
put ourselves in check if we do that.
But he might play it.
Might play it. Knight F1, guys.
Because I want to fork the
Very
two pawns at the
tricky.
end.
I think all roads lead to,
Leads to
Rome is draw right now.
and the black rook will go behind the white pawn on the queen side here, or yeah, go chase it down. It'll be three pawns.
Oh,
three
yeah.
pawns.
I won't be able to draw the arrows.
There we go. Javakir was like making a three-pawn salute there. He was like, yeah, I've only got three left. It's going to be a draw.
Yeah.
Even without black's pawn there on the queen side, which is now marching, this game is straightforward draw.
Puts
In
it
the
on
front
the
position. I wonder
Yeah.
then if we have time, can we go
Timer.
back to see where the game turned?
There's also, I just want a full disclosure, Kaimer Abdusatorov's going on. And
Do you wanna
Hikaru
check in with-
Aronian. Hikaru, can I flip to Hikaru?
Yes,
that's
let's check in with Hikaru.
Because it actually is a pretty interesting endgame.
Okay.
or I'm not sure if it's an interesting idea.
Just looks very blocked, Daniel. But here, white is the exchange down, so it's rook for bishop. But in return, white does have 2 pawns.
The structure of white's pawns, though, looks so nice.
Everything on the light squares.
Yep.
The color of the white bishop. Full domination and control of the board. The rooks are only as strong as the open lines they have, and guess what? No open lines for those rooks.
It's like he's playing checkers, everything on light squares.
This is like Nimzovic's pipe dream. It's like, this is the position I never had.
So in a position like this, how does either player ultimately look to break things open?
B4 is a break that you could be thinking about.
Okay. Because I guess from White's perspective, I would be happy to shuffle this rook around
Yeah.
on the second
I think that's going to
rank
happen.
the whole time.
You just enjoy the position for a bit. You savor the moment, and then Hikaru will break through for sure.
Yeah.
With
But when
F4
and
or
where?
B4.
We get also G5, but then FG. There's some skewers. It's more complicated than it appears.
So is Hikaru playing for the win here, David?
Yes. We should mention Levon Aronian, like if Hikaru does nothing, Levon never ever wins this. White has a perfect blockade, black can never get through. So it's very much Hikaru trying to win.
I think Gary. I think he's going for Gary.
He's going for the G pawn push. It's one of those pawns. You just need to open up lines for the white rook. The white bishop and white king are maximized. They cannot be improved, so it's just the white rook.
The time is now.
He does defend that E5 central pawn, so prophylaxis. A rook lines up now against C4. Hikaru also does this, right? He keeps shuffling around and putting that incremental pressure on the opponent before he goes in for the kill.
He'll wait till Levon's down at like 5-10 seconds left, and then he'll be like
Torture. It's like that torture device where like the drop falls on your head, but you don't know when. You're like, oh, well, just make the breakthrough already. Rip the Band-Aid off.
And give that decision to your opponent when you've got no time on the clock to actually find your way. So that's really smart strategy.
I would do it. No, not now. Not yet.
It might be a combination, like 2 flanks. Like you push b4, you bring the rook round, g5 quickly, while black's still trying to organize the defense.
Is he worried he might lose, or is he just trying to perfect the moment?
Bit of both, maybe.
Rearrange king to h4.
Ooh.
Which is an amazing idea, by the way, I should say. And then g5 looks fantastic.
Yeah, the white king is, actually not necessary. I'm just so attracted to centralized kings in an endgame when the queens are off. The white king can actually go either flank as well, support the pawn breaks.
It's the perfect example of being down material but fully dominating and controlling the board. That bishop in d5 defended by that c4 pawn is such a hero in the position, right? Just denying all activity, all pawn breaks for Levon. And f4, finally we get one in.
I'm Robustator of complicated endgame, but this is the one to watch because they're both, well, virtually under a minute.
Right, and if we have takes, now the rook owns that file.
You forgot another take.
Why are you smiling? Got a
I mean, take,
conspiratorial grin.
Triple take.
There's catchphrase, of course, Hikaru.
From one
Takes,
funster to another.
Takes.
Logical.
He'll want to keep it blocked, Levon. He'll want to maybe defend that pawn with his rook, but walking into a pin, he does trade open file.
That's right.
Some stalemate ideas? Maybe, but no, there's that pawn at b6. Too many things to give up.
Does black need to go back with that rook and not allow the white rook to jump forward to that 8th rank?
But then g5 is happening. You're going to break the doubled pawns down one at a time.
G5 is happening anyway, regardless.
I'm going to say I'll be shocked if Levon holds this one. It just feels like the clock.
The worst person to have this against.
Literally.
Rookie A. I mean, Hikaru's going to like just everything's perfect.
But here, rook e8, I think Levon set up a defense with shuffling the rook, offering a trade, not allowing the white rook to stay for too long on the 7th or the 8th rank.
Having enjoyed my time on e8, I'll slide back to e3 and play g5, which
is about to happen.
He's not going to trade rooks, Hikaru Nakamura. He needs all those different flavors. He needs one rook, one bishop, and a king to combine.
That's a great point. So for white to keep winning chances, you want to keep the rooks on the board.
Yes. And also to prevent losing chances. If a black rook ever gets in and behind, then you need your white rook to cover all the bases. There we go.
Maybe sack on d5 if you're Levon. Is there any practical chance?
You think so?
What about b5, ab, and then rook takes d5?
Classy touch, Daniel. Just, yeah, if you can get rid of the white bishop and eliminate the whole queen side, all of the pawns on that left flank now, it's just a draw.
I'm the expert at blundering other people's pieces.
He is giving up the f7 pawn, by the way, just for rook activity. He's hoping that Hikaru captures it and the rook lands on either the 3rd rank or the 1st rank.
Never accept candy from Levon Aronian. They taught Hikaru at a young age.
I think 90% of the audience at home would just see a pawn, grab a pawn.
I was going to say, that's very instructive because, yeah, you look at that material and want to vacuum it up, but the counterplay that it then allows.
Or even a rook trade, yeah.
Yeah. Keep the opponent in the cage, keep them in the box. Hikaru just waiting. The patience here is another level.
He's a technician. No, people never seem to realize that at his core, Hikaru loves technical positions, and his positional sense is phenomenal.
How much of this is Hikaru evaluating as great winning chances for him? Or is it just about making the move and not thinking about?
I feel like for him, it's like, I have to win this. He feels like he's obliged, so he might go back to this. Let's not forget the b4 pawn break, which might be necessary. I think he might need to provoke a second weakness eventually. Hikaru's like sourdough. He's like, wait a second, this position's not going to win itself.
So he's feeling positive about his chances, but again, he needs to get that second break in, now. And where's he going to find it? Not yet. Look at the way Levon has structured the rooks, right? Perfectly placed for defense.
Yeah, and if this was later in the week, the classical portion of this event, then I think this is definitely a dead draw. But Hikaru just trying to use his practical experience, all those years playing online, all those years playing blitz, speed chess, to hustle the opponent, to set a trap. One last trap. One trap is probably enough, actually, here.
Is rook b2, b4 associated with risk?
But he's got to do that. It's really the only way to continue, to create some chances, get that b6 pawn weak. What's the risk with it? Do you take on d5 at the right moment? Let's say after b4 will be the question.
You can sack g5 check, but that's a very... I mean, no. I don't think you do all this just to, risk losing.
You're repeating? Are we going to see? And there we have it.
Wow.
So not just in classical will it end in a draw, in rapid as well.
But great defense by Levon Oronian. I think all points to him there. Hikaru, maybe with some missed chances a bit earlier.
One more game to catch
push.
the end of, if we may, because this is fascinating.
Not.
Yeah.
Look at this end game.
And we're looking at the top right. That's Vincent
Gukesh is
Kaimal.
still playing. Okay, but that's a draw.
Wow.
Whoa. There's a pawn that's about to queen for both sides. Yeah. White up in exchange.
White's winning.
The white rook's just in time to come behind some checks. Also, you can stop the e-pawn. And
So e2, rook a3 check is the problem. You just force the king back and stop the pawn.
King f2.
Wow.
Not vexing. One tempo short.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite clicked into gear, Nodebek. He's taking big risks, but he hasn't got that win. It's eluded him so far. Now it looks like it's backfiring. Vincent, great. Yeah, great performance from him so far. Looks like he's going to be a favourite to get into that top 8. Yeah, rook simply better than the bishop. Too many checks.
Yeah.
This is
Brave king on g1, holding the line too. Not afraid of the pressure that's coming towards him because of that tempo.
Whoa.
What's you aiming for there?
It's a queen.
It's
White's
a
also
queen.
got this little soldier on a2.
And the rook's going to stop the e-pawn. And that's it. He resigns.
Nodebek not even waiting for Vincent's move there. He knows that anything was winning.
He does that to
He
people.
does that occasionally, yeah. Hikaru has drawn, yes?
Yes, they handshook.
Okay, so are we...
What about Gukesh? We got to rush back to that if
He
that's still
lost
on.
this... No.
What?
Yes?
No.
This one was a draw. I think they left the playing hall a while ago without putting the kings in the middle, without confirming for us.
Now, as far as I'm aware, that concludes our 4th round of the first day of the round robin, which gives us an opportunity to take a look back at all of the players. I think at this point, yeah, I'm starting to wonder which of the players' tournaments are going to expectation for themselves, who feels like maybe they're overperforming and having a great day, and who is leaving, something wanted out there.
I'm not leaving any dried apricots in here.
I think Ali Reza, one of the ones coming out of that round, you could he could read it in his body that he felt like maybe there was an opportunity he let go.
Yeah, and of course the world champion, well, I say world champion Gukesh there, not quite kind of getting the position he wanted, but holding a draw. I think very important for him in the standings. But the world #1, Magnus Carlsen, losing a second game. Both times he's had black, he's lost. And the blunders just not what we're used to seeing from him. Needing some time to warm up, perhaps.
Yeah, but I totally agree with what you said, James. I think for Alireza, that was quite heartbreaking, right? Because you get this beautiful attack, you get the kind of position that he really thrives in, and he could sense it, right? He gave this stunning sacrifice on H2, got that rook to the F3 square, and just when it felt like moments away from checkmating, and incredible defense by Fabi there. Bringing the rook back, bringing the queen back, and then turning the whole game around for a big win.
Yeah, and ultimately Alireza are running out of gas, right? You know, you have to have enough tools in the arsenal, you know, to actually deal that killing blow.
Every card was played.
Right.
He emptied the deck, but he was missing the ace of spades.
Exactly, came up just short. So now we can take stock once again of the results both of this round, and then we'll follow up with a standings update. You can see 2 draws, 3 decisive victories there for Fedoseev, Keimer, and Caruana. We'll see how that affects our overall standings. I think Sindarov is still going to be sitting somewhat pretty. While this is his first game without a victory, he'll still sit at a clean 3.5 points, which will feel very good. So we'll get those standings up and take stock of the field. I think at this point it's interesting to see, you know, we're just about cresting that halfway point, right? 4 games in the books. Once we have our 5th, we're more than halfway through the group stage. And it's going to be Fabiano and Sindarov who hold the top spots. And it's Levon Aronian and Fedoseev at the bottom who are still hurting for wins. Granted, Fedoseev did just pick one up. So this could be the start of something for him.
Yeah, and Fedoseev getting a big win there. But also what's interesting is that there's a 1-point difference already between the top 2 and Alireza there at 2.5 points. So, you know, it looks like they're playing in complete A shape right now, and the others still have to catch up. Again, the big aim is to finish in that top 8 position. For the bottom 2, they've got to start racking up the points now.
Did you see the 2 names hovering just above the danger zone, though? Hikaru Nakamura and Gukesh, half a point off potentially being eliminated from the event.
They're candidates, but for elimination, not the candidates they're used to. But I was just looking, Fabi, he beats Carlsen. Much has been made of his quote-unquote blitz deficiencies, which has been false from the start. I mean, see how he plays in time pressure. It's unbelievable. He spots Queen A8, Knight E4 to deflect that attack against Firouzja. Firouzja never misses in those attacks. Trust, in 30-second chess, he attacks perfectly. That was really impressive by Fabi. I'm impressed with his form, and he's caught up with Java here. And I'm not caught up with reality or with the Uzbek team.
Now, this is the kind of the part of a group stage where I start to wonder if the approach of any players changes based on their positioning in the standings, right? Because it's one thing to say, hey, we're all competitors and we like to win. It's another thing to say that I'm here to win the tournament. And sometimes your best foot forward, you know, in a competitive environment is maybe, okay, I'm already sitting up top as Sindarov, let me start playing safer, right? Maybe I do look for just draws. Guarantee that top position, don't look to throw things away. Granted, he's very close to locking in a spot already. Perhaps the argument's better for those sitting in the middle of the table, but they just want to get that top 8. Do people start playing more safe? The people at the bottom start taking more risk, akin to what we just saw Magnus Carlsen do. That can always backfire. I think, you know, the shape of the standings is what's really going to be interesting to see if players start playing differently as a result.
I would say maybe the one who kind of stood out for me there in terms of playing differently was Levon Aronian, because he did lose his first 2 games. Then it's just about stabilizing. He drew his 3rd quite comfortably. His last one against Nakamura, it was kind of backs to the wall defensive. He just wants to get those kind of half points, maybe points later on the board, but just wants to, you know, be within touching distance of the pack.
Survival mode right now.
Survival mode, exactly.
Yeah, and you pointed out for Hikaru and Gukesh as well, you know, they're on borderline right now. And for Gukesh, well, tomorrow we know the final round will be against Magnus. He wants to make sure that he's feeling safe. We all want to see these 2 players enter into the quarterfinals. It's going to be really interesting because now we go into this final round of the day. How much gas do they have left?
About as much as we do.
We saw Nordebek getting his chips in. So it's so much about the energy because the first few moves in freestyle chess just dictate what's going to happen very early on. You know, it could be a difference between getting a position that's playable and being completely lost.
2 very quick points. First, shout out to Fedoseev. You're losing the first couple games. I saw him consulting with his coach. It sucks.